Dion, wake up. We're about to react to the Nintendo Switch 2. Good morning, everybody. I'm D-Lion24.
And I'm Sage, beta male. We are back with another episode of Unpopular Gaming Opinions. And today's episode, we are going to see, is the Switch 2 going to be better than the Steam Deck?
That's a big ass Steam Deck.
The aspect ratio is 1200 by 800 for the screen. And then you're looking at it on this is a 7-inch screen. The Switch 2 is going to have an 8-inch screen. But first, I think we should react to the actual trailer first. Boy,
Boom.
I hope mine does this. It's going.
That's my question. Is it bigger than the Steam Deck?
It is bigger than the Steam Deck.
It is?
Yeah, it's bigger than the Steam Deck.
I'll look at this monitor.
One of my,
I like this.
while we're watching this, one of my biggest complaints, you can keep it going. I'm gonna say it while this is happening. One of my biggest complaints is that the Joy-Con size. So I had to buy custom just so I could play on my Switch. So I'm glad that they're addressing this problem right here.
Yeah, it felt like my fingers were always cramped when I played with a Joy-Con. They felt like they were made for toddlers.
And then you can see right here, if you pause it, right there, they're addressing Joy-Con drift. They're saying there's not going to be drift here. You see how that was a full 360 range of motion? The Joy-Con drift should be a thing of the past, is what they're saying.
After the first few months of releases.
Yeah, you can still turn in Joy-Cons and get them back for free.
Now this part right here. Everyone's saying that that's a mouse feature. That was a teaser that there's gonna be a mouse-like PC feature for the Switch 2. Oh, I like that. That was needed. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to let you. This right here, this easy just snap and go was needed. I've had kids play with my Switch, bro, and them not knowing to press the button to slide that up. Oh my, they've almost broken my shit several times. This was needed.
I had to replace Joy-Con several times because it would get loose on the actual clutch of it and they would start coming up on their own automatically. So I had to get one to get it to actually lock in on the back. So right here is the most important part to me.
Backwards compatibility. We all knew that was
I like that. I like it, but I don't like that. I like it, not a fan of that. I'm not a fan that y'all are forcing me to get the upgrade. Can't say, well, nobody's forcing you. Well, you see Switch 2 exclusive games and y'all see Pokemon ZX. Oh my God. If Pokemon ZX is a Switch 2 exclusive, they would catch so much shit. So, okay. So I was reading up on it and there's a Bloomberg article, which is, credible sources, that they're planning the Switch 2 release to be one of the biggest ones yet. And if y'all don't remember, the original Switch release, they went out the gate running. They fixed all the problems with the Wii U. They're estimating to sell about 20 million copies of the Switch 2 first year. That's what they're estimating.
They finally broke the PS2's records for the most sold console of all time, so yeah, it's gonna be hype behind it. The crazy part about this, they said that the Switch 2 is going to be quote unquote, when it's docked, on par with the PS4 Pro. Do you believe that?
I believe that people are speculating that it's going to be 4K on the TV. I hope it's not, because usually when you get 4K, that means it's gonna be 30 frames per second, and I'm a frame rate whore. Give me 60. I will take 1440 and 60. I don't need anything dropped.
I haven't heard anything about it introducing 4K. Could be a possibility, because now we have upscaling. We have DLSS 3 now. And if anyone knows, and everyone knows about upscaling, you're using a lower native quality, and then the AI is gonna compute it up to make it look a much better resolution. So it could be possible. 4K could be possible. You got the spec sheets. If you know anything about CUDA cores, it's basically saying how many computations could be done at one time, aka faster rendering, aka higher FPS, aka much better textures you could process. Regular PS4 has 1152. And if we do a comparison, Dion, to the original Switch, I just want you to get a regular guess of how many CUDA cores would you think that the Switch 1 had?
I'm gonna say 158.
That's a good ass guess. That's a good ass guess. 256. That was such a good guess. He just completely left the thousands.
I'm not giving them shit any credit.
Once again, we don't know if these are official. We went from 256 to 1,536.
That's a lot better.
If we're going to the specs, it's similar to the GTX 680. It's nothing like a 1080 Ti or anything like that, but it's slightly above PS4 level. So yeah, I think it's kind of slipping towards the docked PS4. Do I think it's gonna be as good as the PS4 Pro? No, but I do think the DLSS is gonna make it a good in between. If it is anywhere near that, the battery life, this is the argument Dion had.
Okay, listen. Everybody will tell you this Steam Deck here. They go like, you'll get 3 hours and 30 minutes of game time on this. Bullshit. I played Dragon Age 11 on this game. And if you've seen the graphics, if you just want to show, like put some B-roll in a Dragon Age 11, it does not look like that extensive of a game. It's like when you actually look at it, it is not that hard. Like it's not eating anything. I played Dragon Age 11 on the Switch. I managed to get 2 hours and 30 minutes of gameplay time on a regular Switch compared to me only getting it for an hour. And this is on mid settings. I'm not talking about highest settings, overclocking the GPU or anything on this. I get an hour of playtime. So if they can fix that, honestly, this thing would just be the glorified emulator player.
I think it's gonna be a lot more than 3 hours. I think minimum undocked, we're gonna have around 5 hours. When the Switch originally came out, the main complaints was the first few models had really bad battery life. And now when I play my Switch, I don't know about you, but I can play Pokemon Sword and Shield for like 6 hours straight. They've learned from the past. And now, the most important part that people were talking about, increase of RAM from 4 gigs to 12 gigs. Now, Dion, we both know, everyone knows, big games are RAM heavy. The more RAM you got, the more things you have in the game going at one time. Pokemon, for example, more RAM, the world's gonna be a lot more dense now. They were playing Mario on one of the trailers, and we have a side-by-side comparison to them.
Oh, okay.
This is very blurry.
You know what's crazy? Maybe it's the lighting. It has to be the lighting.
Better, huh?
The left looks better. Well, it's more, maybe, I think it's art style. The one on the right, I'm not gonna say the wheels because that'd be disingenuous. Those are off-road wheels. If anybody is telling you that the wheels look bad, look at the difference in the, no, those are off-road wheels. Don't be stupid. All right.
You know where you could really see a comparison here? Look at the steering wheel. Look at the rough edges. Look at the polys.
Yeah.
That's where you could see the graphical difference.
Yeah.
You could actually see the lower poly count
when you're looking for it. Yeah. And I might like the lighting. This is more art style than graphics. Don't let the left fool you, especially on Reddit. They just look at the rage bait.
Okay, this guy's been reasonable. Noticeable improvement is that Mario's wheel is actually fully round, whereas Mario Kart 8, 8D, you can see the polygons. Okay, so people are being
positive. Okay,
we have reasonable people.
Okay.
We misjudged you.
Yeah, get that guy on up. Get that.
We don't get this a lot. I tell you now, we don't get this a lot.
You don't get that a lot. Okay. Do you want to know what game I'm happy for?
What is it?
Humor me. This is the only way I'm ever going to get to actually make a reaction on this game. Anything you see on that map, you can go to. And now we're going to have the power. Look at it. The power of the Switch 2. Look at this. This has to be on the Switch 2. You can't make this a regular Switch. This is not going to work. It ain't going to work. Look how big that map is.
That is a crazy map. You say that whatever you see, you can touch. That's asking a lot from a Switch.
And you tell, and I've always said, if you could just get these developers to make a Pokemon game, it'd be the greatest Pokemon game of all time.
I see where you're cooking. I usually, don't give you your props, but I could kind of see something crazy with Pokemon devs doing something with this. Give them that license, pass that over. I think that the Switch 2 is gonna be crazy. Everyone's gonna buy it. It's too hype now. The Switch is like the console to be. That's the Drake of consoles now. Well,
yeah.
Well, currently the Kendrick Lamar of consoles.
The Switch 2 is gonna. You let him know he a fan. Yeah,
it's just the console everyone's gonna get no matter what. Even if it wasn't to be quote unquote PS4 Pro level, you're still gonna buy it, bro.
That's it, guys. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else we got, right?
Drop the bomb on us. Do you think the 2 is gonna be better than that Steam Deck? That's the question of the video.
Will this be a Steam Deck killer? Probably not. But it'll probably keep this just to an emulator user, honestly. A glorified emulator user.
Speaking of emulators, we do need to get back to that.
You mean legally owned copy of that we
yeah,
have?
of course. Yeah,
legally
man.
owned. Legally owned.
Legally owned.
Copy of that we have. That's legally that we legally have.